Coming to you from Strings and Things Studio in Ventura, California, I'm Katie.
I'm Ann.
I'm Karin.
And this is the Strings Unraveled podcast.
Hello.
How's everybody doing?
It's the most wonderful time.
It's almost Halloween.
Yeah, tell me about it. It's like stressful at my house with all the pre-Halloween prep, but
What's happening?
James is building his annual haunted house. This year's theme is mythical creatures.
Ooh.
So in my little TV room where we're storing a bunch of crap, there's currently a Jersey Devil and Mothman and a Chupacabra and
Jersey Devil, the tomato?
Jersey Devil.
No, the Jersey Devil, the devil.
Yeah.
Oh,
the demon. And
because there's a tomato variety called Jersey Devil.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's really tasty.
But when I think of the Jersey Devil, I think of the X-Files one where it's like it turns out to be like this guy's parasitic twin
ew,
coming off of him at night and killing people and small dogs.
that sounds terrifying.
I think that's the one where Quickback gets
Are you watching Cabinet of Curiosities? Because it's kind of like that. So
No, but that sounds fun. Where are you watching that?
Netflix, Guillermo del Toro.
I love him so much.
And he hosted. It's kind
I
of like
adore him.
it's like an Alfred Hitchcock, but with Guillermo del Toro.
I love him so much.
Yeah, so it's all Halloween all the time. We're also like checking off a list we made of like spooky movies to get through in the month.
Ooh.
So I wrote down, because I knew you would ask me which ones I have watched. And they're not that scary because I
That's
don't like
okay.
anything too scary.
That's okay.
So we have seen Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Oh, that's good.
Excellent.
That's a good one.
Trick or Treat.
I haven't watched that one.
It's fine.
It's on my to watch. Though.
We watched The Haunted Mansion.
Love that.
I'd never seen it before.
Isn't that fun?
Adorable.
I can't believe I haven't seen it.
Oh, it's so cute. It's with
Yeah.
Eddie Murphy.
It's very cute.
hilarious.
What is that streaming on?
Disney Plus, I guess.
Oh, okay.
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
Beetlejuice. Addams Family. Young Frankenstein.
These are all excellent.
Those are like
These are
every year.
Excellent.
We watched Poltergeist.
Oh, that one's scary.
We watched The Conjuring, which was very
that's
scary.
good. I'm so proud of you.
I know, right? James
That
was like,
is-
please, 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 can we watch it? And I was like, yes, but I will be looking up the timestamps for every jump scare.
That is legit scary.
Yeah, it was very scary.
Because that one scares me.
We watched Ginger Snaps. Have you seen this?
We started watching it, but I was so tired the night we put
You would
it
like
on.
it.
I couldn't get into it.
Okay.
But it's because I was tired. I was dozing off. So
I enjoyed it.
It's my childhood right in front of me.
Yes.
It was made in 1999.
It's
So Dante and I are
cute.
going to come back to it.
Okay, good. You should. And An American Werewolf in London.
Oh,
Which I love that movie.
Also
one.
excellent.
So those are,
love that one.
I think, all of the ones
The
we've
whole
watched
theater,
so far.
we were like, stay on the road.
Have you seen American Werewolf in Paris?
I haven't watched that
one's
one.
That
also fun.
It
Is
is
it?
fun, yeah.
And I
Yeah.
feel like it ruins Johnny Bernthal.
I don't know who that is.
He played the like best friend at the beginning of The Walking Dead, and then he ends up stealing the wife, sort of. Even though we thought
I never made that connection.
he's one of the slaughtered friends.
Oh.
So anytime I
just
'cause
love
he's
the
kind of really
conversation with the
developed-
decaying body. I
Yeah,
think it's
he's
awesome.
really developed this like man's man, but open-hearted and soft, gushy inside.
Uh-huh.
And he's essentially our neighbor. He lives up in Ojai somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
So I feel like whenever
I
I
forgot how
see
much
him,
I love that movie because it's
a good movie.
it's got scary parts, but it's got a comedic.
It's a little better
timing in
than
some
the
place.
original, I think.
The Paris
Yeah,
one?
yeah.
Because it
Does it have a proper ending? Because the
I
first one
think
doesn't.
so. Yeah, I think so. I found it. I don't remember it leaving me unsatisfied.
Okay.
It's a fun movie. Yeah.
Good to know.
So if
I keep
you-
seeing it recommended. I'm like,
Yeah.
I wonder if it's any good.
And the female lead is really adorable.
Yeah.
She's this cute French woman who was very popular at the time. I can't think of her name.
We still have a list of a couple more. Oh, and Shaun of the Dead. I didn't mention that.
Brilliant.
Love that movie.
This is a great list.
So we should title this "How to Prep for Halloween."
Prep for Halloween.
Yeah, I have a couple left that we haven't checked off the
Wake
list
up,
yet. But
open your eyes.
yeah, right?
And live and breathe Halloween.
Put your costume on.
Normal human being facing the day.
Right?
It was sad. It was a sad day when the last of the kids had no interest in Halloween. And
I don't think that's like, I'm raising my children to treasure Halloween. So,
well, I tortured my older one by making him go trick-or-treating. I traumatized him because he really hated going around the neighborhood and having things jumped out. To this point, I mean, he's the only one I know that really, really did not like Bug's Life because he was so traumatized of things jumping out at him that kind of even something as calm as that was too much.
Bug's Life is jump scares for him.
Yes. Did you, Anne, say that you haven't seen Trick or Treat?
No, I have not. It's in my to watch on Shudder.
We were talking about it's the Halloween equivalent of a Christmas Carol, because you don't appreciate what Halloween is about and bad things will happen to you. So it's learn to appreciate and follow the rules of Halloween is basically the gist of the movie.
There's rules of Halloween.
Yeah, you don't smash somebody's pumpkin.
Yeah.
You know.
That's just being a good person.
Obviously,
or the bad person's gonna get you.
Obviously, we need to watch. You and I need to watch it so we know the rules of Halloween.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, when it comes to Halloween stuff, I'm like Katie. I don't like scary things. I don't like movies. There's even times where I know the jump scene's coming. And I'm like, I know it's coming in. I cannot watch it.
I like the idea of a scary movie. It's fun.
Yeah.
If it's James and I are hanging out and we're watching the scary movie, I appreciate it. But it has to be a narrow window of the type of scary movie. I don't mind so much a ghost story or a haunted house because I don't think that those things are real. But a scary murderer, I don't want to watch that because that's too real for me. That's too spooky.
I can't believe I got through so many seasons of American Horror Story. I don't know. I had to be in the right mode for it. They have more seasons and I haven't caught it.
I decided to even though they turned in on themselves and did start self-referencing, I started this year's season and it's all right so far. It's and then I didn't watch American Horror Stories, which I have been completely binging, but that's for another night. Or maybe later tonight. I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's my obsession. I haven't decided what that is yet.
I was very sad that an actor that I know from Call Me Kat.
I know, Leslie Jordan.
But I knew him from American Horror Stories Coven.
I mean, come on. Go all the way back to
Will and Grace.
Further, ladies.
Oh.
I'm trying to remember the name of the show. Was it Coach?
Was he on Coach?
I keep picturing
We didn't really watch
him.
that.
Let me get my IMDb open.
Yeah, I keep picturing him in a mid-90s sitcom.
And he's a treasure that it is greatly missed.
I know, that made me really sad.
R.I.P. Leslie Jordan.
Yeah.
I think he was a delight. NPR replayed a Terry Gross interview, which was delightful. She says, "When did you know you were gay?" He says, "I was born. I fell out of my mama right into her high heels."
I don't think he's in that in Coach.
Okay, but he's in something way back with a redhead as the lead.
Will and Grace.
It's further back. I didn't bring my phone in.
Oh, okay.
Do you really? No, really IMDb.
Okay.
That's not IMDb. That's Google.
We're gonna figure this out. Yeah, I know. I was sad to see that because I texted James. He's like, "I don't know who that is," and I was like, "Shut up."
You do, yeah.
I was like, even from the memes,
so it was just a car accident.
I haven't looked.
I think I read that he had some sort of medical issue that led to him crashing his car.
Oh, I thought someone crashed into him. I just always want
to
blame
somebody else. That's what I read
else.
initially. You said 90s. Yeah, we're currently scrolling, but anyway. Yeah, that was kind of sad to learn about. He's on Pee-wee's Playhouse.
And Perfect Strangers.
Oh my gosh, Pee-wee's Playhouse. I meant to do that.
Should be somewhere right in here.
I don't know.
That was from Pee-wee's Playhouse.
We're going to have to figure that out.
Okay.
Meh.
Yes, please, take my computer.
What is this black velvet pantsuit?
What? Oh, that's the thing that he was in.
Hearts of Fire is what I'm thinking of.
Hearts of Fire.
I don't know what that is.
Because I remember it was like, no, that's not what that is. No.
If you, the listener, know, write in and tell us.
But he's been in Hollywood a long time.
Yeah.
And also just recently on Instagram, he's a delight. But yeah, that made me kind of sad.
He played the annoying cousin or something on this thing.
I don't know. Karin, you want to start us off on what you're working on?
Okay. I am working on a sweater that I only got the yarn a week ago. It was delivered, and I already have the back of the sweater done, and the front is a third of the way done.
Love it.
I love this kind of sweater. It combines half double crochet through the back loop, which I love all kinds of half double crochet, and a double slip stitch, which I learned to make this. And which starts like, it's kind of a, you know how you have a slip stitch, and you have single crochet, and you have double crochet, and half double is that stair step between single and double. A double slip stitch is the stair step between a slip stitch and a single crochet.
Right.
Because, and it's a lot
You
easier
needed
to
a half
get,
step there.
well, it's a lot easier to get into than trying to get into a slip stitch to work your way over someplace.
That's how I gauge a really great crochet hook, if I can do a slip stitch in one swoop. Because usually I have to go through the foundation and then through the loop. But on some really smooth crochet hooks, you can go.
That would be nice.
Well,
What is the name of this pattern?
This pattern is called City Stroll, and it's worked side to side. And what's really fun is that you chain 8 and just regular chain, and then you do a foundation half double crochet for the rest of the body, and that keeps and you're working the bottom ribbing at the same time that you're working the sweater.
Yeah.
So it has this nice finish, but the bottom 6 stitches, it ends up being a 6 stitch wide ribbing, actually pulls in a little bit.
What is this yarn that you're using?
This yarn is my new favorite. Let me pull it out. So I fell in love with Cumulus that Anne had done her sweater in, and I was like, I need a sweater that I can do that in because it feels so soft and awesome, but it's cotton and it looks amazing. And then I discovered that I was like, oh, I want to do it for this sweater, but this sweater requires a heavier weight, a little bit heavier weight. And so Cumulus has a big sister named Nimbus.
Nice.
And it's Juniper
Moon Farms. Right here, it's on the label. Just look up. And this particular one is a gradient called Nimbus Paints. I think Cumulus is Cumulus or Cumulus Paint or Cumulus.
Yeah, they have 2 color
speckle.
I think they have 3.
Not speckle, but it's called something with an S in it.
Well, they have a solid, and then they
Spackle, strapple.
Yeah, I keep
I don't know these
like,
words.
I look at the color band, and I cannot like internalize the name of the other one that's like a repeating self-striping. And then they have the gradient, and they of course have solids.
So, like Cumulus, its little sister, Nimbus is a chainette construction with 96% Mako cotton and 4% nylon. And that little bit of nylon plus that construction helps this cotton to hold its shape.
Yeah, it's a nice
and
yarn.
This particular one, they have some really nice, beautiful, bright color gradients. I went pretty calm with pale. Dappled is the word. Strappled, dappled, speckled. I knew it was something appled. Okay, so the paint, this particular one goes from a medium charcoal to a dove gray to a paley mint to, I guess, a grassy green, and then back into the gray. And so it's doing this vertical wave, because I'm going side to side, it's doing this vertical wave of color. But it really blends really nicely, and it's easy enough to go from, there's 164 yards per 100 gram. It's considered bulky. It crochets really nicely considering how soft it is. It doesn't catch, occasionally I might catch a little bit of a thread, but not really because of that chainette construction. So I'm really looking forward to it, but I will tell you, it pulls up really great. Okay, I'll show you y'all can't see this, but I'll leave it out so
we'll take a picture of it.
We'll take a picture. There were a couple of things that didn't feel clear to me. So I will say the designer is really great at answering questions. And currently it's a pattern that was on the Hobie site, and she got everything back. She got her rights back, and then now she's doing a test on this, doing a test crochet of it. But so I'm not part of the test. I'm just testing it for myself because I like her stuff. And so, okay, when you see the words, repeat last 2 rows X number of times for a total of this many rows. Does that mean, like, for instance, in this size, it says repeat last 2 rows 9 times. How many rows do you think that is?
Well, does it say for a total of this many times?
Let's see. It says...
Because my first guess is it's 18 rows.
Repeat last 2 rows 9 more times. Then it says for a total of something rows.
20.
Huh?
20 rows.
No, when it says repeat it 9 times, they just want 9 rows. Not
Repeat
18
the last
rows.
2 rows 9 times.
Should be 18.
Yeah, so that's
as far as just the repeats, right?
Yeah.
Because I asked her, because my neck was supposed to be 9 rows wide and it was 18. It was really wide.
You're like, my
so
goodness.
I need to root that back. I'm like,
It's Flashdance.
But wait a minute. But she does tell me for a total of this many rows.
So that makes a difference.
It makes a difference. I'm glad she put that information because that's when I realized, oh, I have way
because it
more
should have said
rows.
repeat these last 2 rows for 9 rows total.
Yeah.
Until this many rows have been completed.
Not 9 times. Yeah.
Not 9 more times.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's... I try to phrase my questions, not in a you should have done it this way. More of, this is how I understand it. If I'm wrong, please tell me how I'm wrong.
I did that once with
and she's like, I don't
West.
and she's like, I don't understand how you got that. I go, so this is where I'm like, well, when I designed for Interweave, this is what their verbiage meant.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to sound, I hope that didn't come off snobbish, but I did want to make it known that this is where I got my source of information.
I did that once with a Stephen West pattern that was clearly wrong. And it was a repeat like that where it was like repeated every 7 rows, like this decrease. But it was like 7 rows between the decreases, not 7 row, like the 7th row is the decrease. Which over the course of the whole sleeve added up to a significant number of rows.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was correct in that their verbiage was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, no, it's right. And I was like, well, my sleeve is wrong. And I did it exactly as to what you said. And they were like, okay. But they never changed it.
Yeah.
But she does tell you the total number of rows. And this is where reading is not for suckers.
I disagree. Anyway.
Because
just on merit.
Because like many people, don't read, they only read 1 paragraph at a time and miss the at the same time paragraph that tells you what else you're supposed to juggle while you're doing your instructions.
So you saved yourself and read ahead?
I did not read ahead. That's why I did 18 rows instead of
I often
9.
think I know better. And then I'm like, oh, I just assumed that I knew what I was going to do and I didn't do it at all.
Her instructions were a little confusing, but she did give the answer in the instructions had I read further.
Right.
So
but
she
I want
is
it now.
covered. And honestly, if I had read the instructions the way I should, that would be something different. So anyway, I really enjoy this pattern. I like being able to, it's just kind of a treat to do. It's 2 rows over and over and over again. And maybe you stop a little bit for some neck shaping and then you pick it back, cast on to do a little bit more. I really like the texture of, at first I was like, wait a minute, you've got 2 kinds of cast on in the same row? But it totally makes sense. Anyway, I'm going to love this sweater. It's going to be my, I rediscovered a sweater that I'd had like back in the 90s that had been my favorite, and it was a little worn because it was cotton, and I'd worn it. I rediscovered it. It's going to be like that.
Nice. And what are you working on?
Well, I'm making this sweater called Ariana, which is a Barocco free pattern. I'm most definitely not using Barocco. I'm sorry, Barocco. I love your yarns. I am using Impeccable. Loops and Thread Impeccable.
I feel like I just favorited this pattern, but keep talking.
I keep seeing it around,
so
I would not be surprised. Because I was working on something else that was like pot holders, and I picked Christmas colors, but I don't like decorating for Christmas, and I'm not going to make them as gifts. So I was like, well, that was fun. They would have looked cute together.
Yeah.
let's do something different. But I still wanted to crochet. So this is going to be kind of a Christmassy sweater.
Very Christmassy.
It's a granny square that's 7 rounds once you get the connecting round. The pattern only comes in 2 sizes. Have you looked at it yet?
No. I just added it.
It's a 40-inch finish and a 65-inch finish.
Oh, wow.
But then when I did the math, I was like, oh, whatever. I'll just make my granny squares a little bigger or change my hook size or whatever. It's going to be plenty big enough around.
Yeah.
But when it's both knitting and crochet.
Yeah.
So you pick up the ribbing along the edges. So when you pick up the ribbing, you're picking up so few stitches, it gives you a 40-inch waist.
Yeah.
So I am not going to do it that way. I'm going to cross that bridge when I come to it, though. I will knit my ribbing because I want to do it.
I was going to say, I love this crocheted ribbing because it looks like knitting.
It does.
It looks like knitting.
I can knit, so...
So, yeah, it's pretty cool looking. Yeah.
Their patterns in cute, like, yellow and gray and purple. I am doing Kelly green, a kind of soft minty green, burgundy, and, gosh, what would you call this color?
This one?
Yeah. Like a rosy
like a fuchsia, but not...
It's not as hot as fuchsia. But it is in the fuchsia range, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's subdued.
Like a raspberry color.
Yeah,
That's it.
raspberry.
Raspberry.
Yeah. So burgundy and raspberry, white and Kelly green and a minty green.
It's a very vintagey Christmas color palette.
And then I'm gonna do white as the joining.
Cute.
I think it will be very adorable. Hopefully I'll stay focused. I'm doing because you do some number, I think it's 46 of the granny squares for the smaller size. And then you do like some half triangles and some quarter triangles. I was just going to
ask, are they all squares or are they different shapes?
There's triangles.
Got it.
So I'm going to do all the granny squares at the same time. And I'm doing not exactly half because I counted off and it's like...
Are all of theirs the same? Because you're mixing up the order, right?
Yeah.
Like, it looks like their color order is the same for all of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I wasn't sure how the yardage works, so I was like, well, I mean, if I do all the outsides green, which would make it the more dominant color, which would be my preference, I'm going to need a lot more green.
Right.
And I am doing it a little different color repeat than they're doing, so I couldn't use their yardage as a guideline so much. So anyway, I'm flipping off on I'm 50-50-ish who gets the pinkish center and who gets the greenish center. So cute. I think it's gonna be very, very cute.
That looks I've had that pattern in my favorites. I'm like, I want to make that.
You should. What colors will you do?
I don't know, but I like the Christmas idea.
That would be awesome.
It also is not Christmas enough that you couldn't wear it during Christmas.
Yeah, that was the other thought.
Cool.
So I'm excited. This is fun. I have a bunch of hats I'm trying to finish for my samples before the classes arrive.
Yeah.
And then all my time has been on the things I finished.
Yeah.
So that's really what I'm doing. I'm in a weird... So, like, springtime was start.
Right.
But I'm not in the I want to finish phase.
That didn't come after?
No. I have a resurgence if I want to start.
Yeah.
But a lot of crochet is popping up. Like, I'm really feeling the draw of the hook lately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think everybody is.
Yeah.
It's been super popular.
Yeah. Yep. It's good.
Cool.
So
we certainly had a lot more private lessons. For a lot of people want to learn to crochet.
Yeah.
I have not been working on... I have, I guess, technically 4 Halloween sweaters I thought I would finish to wear this year. But nope.
But no.
Yeah, I was sure, Karin, that you would have ignited my passion to finish my Miss Ziggy because I just have to do my sleeves.
Oh my gosh, I finished it, but I'm not gonna be able to wear it because I totally forgot to block it.
But it looked cute, not blocked.
Just give it a quick little steam.
Yeah,
I'm gonna do that tonight before I leave, so I can actually wear it.
Get the crinkle out of it a little bit. Just steam it
because it looked cute.
It's
Even
sitting
though
right
that, like, I
there.
know that one color probably will change a lot when you block it.
Yeah.
But it still looked
Not
great.
enough
so.
that you couldn't wear it by
Right.
Friday or
Right.
Monday.
You could wear it Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday.
Yeah.
And I have a pumpkin. What is that called? Carved.
Carved.
And I have maybe it's just 3 because I'm thinking of Mirabella's too. 3 that I could wear and 1 she could wear.
Uh-huh.
I have a carved that I started for her, and I have a spiderweb sweater
Oh yeah.
by that girl. I don't remember her name, but it's so cute. So
Yeah.
if you have a
It's like
spiderweb,
called arachnid or something. Yeah.
And I ended up doing almost exactly the colors that she did, navy and neon green for my spider web. And that just needs sleeves. and my
You don't need
Mizuki.
sleep between now and Monday.
But
right?
but we're getting ready for the boutique. So.
Yes. That's the other thing.
And
Yes.
actually, I have promised myself that this weekend is going to be just pure fun. So
Good.
I'm not.
Are you going to do some more bowl thingy?
Oh,
microwave bowl?
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not
That's
going to
my
make the
main focus.
mistake of. I'm not going to make the mistake of. I'll just wait to see what's left over to buy. There was nothing left over. It was gone. I blinked and they were gone.
Yeah.
I'm going to
I'm
shop.
hoping for the same.
I'm going
good
to
luck.
shop early.
Cool.
So that's
Super
what I'm
popular.
working on.
Nice. I am,
Or not working.
or not. We're dreaming about, thinking about working on.
So next Halloween, those will be.
Yeah.
I'll probably have to change the size on Mirabella. She's a growing girl.
You should take the attitude that one of our very loyal customers has, which
Yes.
is like, I need a Halloween sweater, but I don't care if you're going to see it any other month of the year because I love my sweater.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, do it.
Well, yeah. Honestly, yeah.
Yeah.
I have been known to wear my pumpkin or jack-o'-lantern shirt on Pie Day
Yeah.
because I like pumpkin pie.
That counts. I am working on 2 sweaters. This first one is a gift is it going to be a Christmas gift? And I can't say who it's for because I don't know if this person listens to the podcast or not. But
It's gorgeous.
thank you. It is the Easy Eyelet Yoke pullover, which I've made 2 of. I taught it as a class a couple years ago. I have one in Madeline Tosh Chunky, and I made one for my sister in Woolies, like the regular Woolies. And it's knit at a gauge of like 16 stitches per inch, so it goes really fast.
Isn't that a dream?
It is so lovely because I am using Rios, and I started it on Tuesday, and I've only worked on it in my 2 drop-ins, and I'm like an inch away from separating from my yoke already.
Oh, that's right. I'm still working on stockings.
Oh,
Because
stockings.
that's my promise. I'm into the 3rd one.
Nice.
I'm well into it. So
That's
thanks
awesome.
for the reminder on that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's moving quite along there.
Yes, I love this pattern because I looked up a bunch of options and I got some advice from somebody about which one I should choose. And I looked at my previous Ravelry back when I used to take notes about things. And I had made one of these for my sister in 2 weeks.
Oh, nice.
I was like,
Oh,
if I
wow.
start it now, I got so much time before Christmas. I could totally get it done.
Totally.
And I'm on size like 9 needles, so it's going pretty quick.
Oh,
So I
love
did
that.
the this is such an easy pattern because it's like knit for a couple inches, do some yarn overs, knit for a few more inches, do some more yarn overs. The sweater doesn't have any short row shaping for the yoke, and since it's a gift, I was like, it might be nice to add some short rows to like raise the back neck because it makes it easy to tell what's the front and what's the back.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'll just throw in a couple short rows. But then I was like, well, but how am I going to do that?
Yeah.
Because I've done it. I mean, I've done it in patterns that have told me to do it, but I've never like added
Did you
them.
figure it out?
I kind of made it up.
This
So
is a perfect pattern to do it
Yes.
like gradually, kind of like what's her face.
I
does
didn't
it.
do that.
Okay.
But what I did do was, because I didn't really think about it, I was like, oh, I could add them at the beginning, but I'm just going to go for it and see what happens. So I got through, there's 4 sets of like increase rows, and then after the last increase row, it's like knit for 2 inches. I was like, I'll put them in there.
Perfect.
But then the question was
Like
like,
this one, like Luminous Summer.
yeah, but it's before the sleeves.
Yes, which I think is better.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why she puts it where she does.
I don't know either. It's,
honestly.
it's very strange. So then the question was, where do you put the short rows?
Okay.
So they go behind the neck, right? But like,
yeah.
where do you turn? So I just divided it in half and like put one on each shoulder and then kind of worked back a couple times.
Yeah.
I was like, that's gotta work.
Perfect. And I think the later you put it in a sweater, the wider their base needs to be.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, it's not gonna hurt it to just add a couple in. So I think I did maybe 4 turns.
Does it change the sleeve stitches at all?
Nope.
No.
Short rows don't change your
because
sleeve
they're
count.
not the sleeve count. It's just the row count. That's right.
It does. It didn't. It happened before the sleeves. So I was like, I'm just gonna throw a couple short rows in, and then I was like, well, I gotta actually figure out how I'm gonna do that.
Good on you.
Yeah. So I bought 4 balls of Rios for this project because I think, according to my notes, it should be enough. Mm-hmm. But then I was like, well, what if I don't have enough? Because I bought all that was available at Fabric Town in this color. Mm-hmm. So then I went online, and I found it at Eat Sleep Knit, and I said, send me the darkest version of this colorway you have. Because if it else fails, I'll blend into it for like the hem or something on the bottom, and it's like if they have a darker version, I probably won't need it, but it's handy to have an extra one on hand. So this color is Purpurus, so it's various purples.
Yep.
And I was asking James his opinion about what color I should choose for this person, and he was like, oh, I don't know, I think they might like this, that, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I think I'm just going to pick like a nice jewel tone, nothing too bright, nothing too crazy. So I chose this. I started knitting it. I was like, this is great. Because I was like debating other colors they had at Fabric Town. They had like Arco Iris. Mm-hmm. They had a couple of Piedras, which I would have picked if there had been enough because that's my favorite one. And then I was like, no, this is a safe choice. And I showed it to James. He was like, it's a little bit flashy. And I was like, no, it's not.
Oh, no.
I was like,
this is
no, you don't know what the options are.
This is the most subdued.
That's what I said. I was like, that's why I picked it.
I think Piedras can be very calm.
Yes.
But it's dynamic.
There was another one too, because I took pictures of the ones that were available, but it was like, boy, you don't even know what my options were.
It's a little flashy.
Yeah. Oh, Archangel. That's the other one. I was like,
love that.
The oranges and the purples and the pinks.
Like a
and
sunset.
Then I think that's Arco Iris. Yeah. And I was like, of all of the options, do you think this is flashy?
No, this is almost a neutral.
Right? I was like, you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. And
don't ask him again.
No, I don't know why I asked in the first place. I'm blending between skeins because I don't know how different they're going to be.
Have to, kind of.
Every time I think I'm going to do that, though, I get close to the end of the first one. I'm like, I should start blending. And I leave myself enough for like 3 rounds. I'm like, I guess I should have started earlier.
It makes a difference to have done it that way.
So I'm working on 2 different balls right now. And like I said, I'm maybe like an inch from my sleeve separation. So, and I remember when I made the first 2 ones of these, each sleeve took me a day, maybe.
Nice.
So I should have this done hopefully next month when we talk about when we're finished. And then the other thing I'm working on is in this bag that I have to pull out. I bought some Bernat velvet because I've always been intrigued by making a sweater out of it.
Oh my god, a sweater.
Ooh. So I'm making
I just did a hat as a second strand.
I'm making a sweater.
Oh, it's so pretty.
So it's this dark green, it's called Pine. Like, feel this. This is going to be like my most cozy little sweatshirt, right? Mm-hmm. And I was like, I don't know, it might be a pain in the butt to work with. You know, those like chenille velvet yarns can be a little unwieldy sometimes, but it's been totally fine.
Awesome.
You can't see your stitches that well. So like keeping track of like, am I on an increase row or a knit row? I have to like stop and look every once in a while. So I'm certain I have messed it up in some spots because it's like a top-down raglan. I don't really care because you're not going to be able to tell.
Nope.
But we went camping last weekend and all the nieces and nephews were there. Mm-hmm. And my nephew Finnegan was like, what are you making? And I was like, what do you think I'm making? He's like, are you making a sweater? And I said, yes. He says, are you making it for me? And I was like, no, I'm making it for me. He's like, well, could you make it for me? And I was like, at this point, probably not. It's probably a little bit big for you because you're very small. And he's like, this green is my favorite color. And I was like, I know. I was like, would you wear a velvet sweater? I didn't ask him that. But I was like, maybe if I have yarn left over, I'll make you a hat. He was like, yes, please. I would love that.
Aww.
But he was like, that's my favorite color. I was like, buddy, I do know that. I did know that green was your favorite color.
Love the angling.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
The pattern,
you won't have to guess.
No.
Is this color safe? Yes.
Yes. The pattern I'm using is from Bernat. Like, it's written for this yarn. It's like your basic top-down pullover, raglan, easy. But I'm very much enjoying it. I think it'll be the coziest of sweaters. That Bernat yarn I know can, like, what is it called? Worm?
Worm, yep.
But I'm knitting it on a size 8 needle, and I like the fabric that I'm getting, so keeping it on a smaller needle than what the pattern recommend, or what the yarn recommends
is the win.
Yeah, it's helping that not happen.
I, like, conceptually knew that chenille could worm, which is when it just starts working itself out like it's alive.
Yeah, it like squirms its way out of your stitches,
like it
and curls up on itself.
And like, I conceptually knew it was a thing, and then I let a student knit in a too big of a gauge, and it's
freaky,
horrifying.
Yeah.
Yep.
I was so sad. And Lois is like, "Why did you let her do that?" I'm like,
I don't know.
It seemed okay.
Yeah.
I want to love it because it just feels so velvety wonderful in your hand. But I have a student that only likes working on really, really big needles. And I've told her, you're on your own with this. I will tell you, I will not help you with fixing these. There's just beyond fixing.
Yeah.
Because it worms.
You just tell them it's a bad idea.
The worming is so bad. It's like it's nothing but loops.
Yeah. I was looking at projects.
Even though she always pairs it with another yarn. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I kind of think it makes it worse sometimes.
Could be.
I was looking at projects, and one person posted a picture of what the inside of their sweater looked like with all the worming, and I was like, oh no!
It wouldn't be too bad if it was only on that
wild.
side.
Yeah.
But it doesn't confine itself to only one side.
Yeah, that's kind of impressive.
Yeah.
That person would only have it on the inside.
I think maybe they are actively trying to get it to stay on one side.
But the worms will have their way.
Yeah, it's a little freaky, but
It's another title.
I adore how that yarn feels.
Yes.
And I am also tempted by it. And I'm not afraid of worming so much because I do not only conceptually understand it, but now have witnessed the horrors of
I didn't even know that was
it.
a thing until I saw her stuff, and no matter what she did, it wormed. I thought, how is that?
It's just the nature of the
yarn.
It's just weird. Yeah. It's like so twisted up that it just wants to like work its way out.
Yet you have no worms.
Well, the yarn calls for a size 10.5 needle, and I'm using an 8. Which
that's proof of Kat Bordy's theory that nobody knitted with that yarn.
Exactly. They're like, it's a super bulky. I'm like, it's really not.
But it does not feel stiff.
No,
like,
I know.
At all.
I think I'm on gauge. At least my swatch told me that I was. But I'm like, maybe I should measure this. But, you know, I'm just going to keep increasing.
So here's my other worry about working with the chenille. And it might have been more like commercial grade, fast fashion. But when these were the hot sweater in the 90s.
Yes.
And you go to school and your chenille sweater starts shedding.
Yes. The N is already shedding. Like where there used to be chenille, there isn't anymore. So I'm not assuming it's going to last forever.
Can you tie a knot on the end to help contain it?
Yeah, like I'd weave in my ends and then tie a knot in the end that you leave.
Yeah.
And it's probably one of those that really benefits from the longer, like leaving a longer tail.
This person, I'm looking for that picture to haunt you with, but it says, spooky, very disappointed with the Bernat. Even gentle hand washing makes yarn loops stick out everywhere. I'm like, I don't know if that is the washing or just the yarn just wants to do it.
I'm sorry, honey, it's the yarn.
Yeah. It's it's interesting. So I'm kind of just like keeping an eye on it, and I'm assuming this is going to be like a really cozy wear at home sweatshirt. So if it's not perfect, I don't really care that much.
Awesome.
But those are the two things that I am working on, as well as a bunch of stuff for the
boutique,
the holiday boutique. Yes.
November 19th, if you're local.
Yep.
And if you're not, stuff will be online.
Yep.
After.
Yep. We are making stuff left and right.
Yep.
So, what have we finished? Karin, what have you finished?
Not a lot.
Quality over quantity.
Yeah, but it's I am doing a custom dye project for a customer who wanted to make a sweater with a monarch in it, and trying to find the right orange is
This
Can
is
you?
where you're a better person than I am, because I was like, all right, she wants a butterfly in the middle. Here's this pattern. It's a butterfly.
Yeah.
No, but she wants a monarch. So I took the
And Karen's like, this will not do.
Look,
Here's some places you might find yarn. Go look.
Okay, so we took the swallowtail pattern, which is a great gorgeous.
It's going to be the skeleton.
Okay, so the
of
wings
this.
are not exactly monarch-ish, but I took the little tail off the swallowtail, and I took the outline of that, and then redid where the black outlines would be for a monarch.
It will totally read as a monarch if you
It's
change
going to read
the
monarch.
colors. Yeah.
And we decided that that whole band would be orange with black, with a black outline. And I had intended to dye something that was more of a gradient, but certain oranges just took over. So it has monarch-esque like. So what I first did was I dyed mini skeins to try to play with the color and find the right color combination. We thought we had it. It looks great. It was more yellowy orange into the deeper orange. And then this is what I got. So
It was a very rich orange.
it's a very, very rich
Looks like
orange.
glazed carrot, that Malabrigo
Yes.
colorway.
Yes.
And it has little light pops because we started with a sock blank. So if you don't know what a sock blank is, it is a pre-machine knit rectangle or swath of knitted fabric that is 2 strands of fingering knitted together in this machine knit. And the idea was you would dye it all kinds of ways, and then if you were making socks, when you would have 2 strands dyed exactly the same, you could make your socks together and they would match. But the other way is if you were making, my idea was using that as a gradient and going light to dark, and it didn't quite do that, but it's still, it has lights and darks in it, because when you separate those 2 strands, not all of the pre-knit part took the dye at the same place, so you get this light tonal this tonal quality to it, and it's very rich. The glazed carrot is what ended up being.
It's probably different, but that's why, because I have a skein of that in my stash, and I was like, that
it
looks like that other yarn.
It is a beautiful, rich. Some of the darker parts sort of came out, but because of that machine knitting, it also is the texture of the yarn is very crinkled, as what I can say. So then I tied it some more and gave it a hot dye bath, or a hot bath wash bath, to help seal those colors in a little bit better, and also help the crinkles to relax.
Nice.
So I think it's now. I was winding it the first time. I would wind it into a ball and then separate them out from there, and I realized I don't need to do that. I can unravel the sock blank by winding one onto the ball winder and the other one onto the Swift at the same time, and then when I got to the end, I tied the ends together and then got it all on the Swift.
Yeah.
So there's 357 continuous yards per skein.
Nice.
So
It's beautiful.
So for sock yarn, you're not getting the full yardage of what a skein of sock yarn would be.
Right.
Because that's like in the 400s.
This is that hawthorn yarn.
It's a hawthorn. But hawthorn takes dye really well. So, and between
I like
that and mixing with the
that
straw.
yarn.
And I opted not to dye the black because it's really hard to do a nice strong black, and I didn't want
easy
to.
to buy a solid black.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's why I thought, you know what? For the price
Black
of it,
is black.
Yeah.
why don't you go with their black, because that's going to just be perfect.
Smart.
What about the other color of the sweater?
The other color is also hawthorn. We went with it's like a periwinkle tonal.
You didn't dye that one. That was
I
one
did
of
not.
the Knit Picks
No,
colors.
we did not dye that one. We went with what was Knit Picks color.
So
She does have a bare strand of Nomad from KNOMAD, and I think we were just using that as a tester in case the periwinkle, because that was the closest. She wanted to have a lighter blue, and if the periwinkle didn't play well with the orange, then, which I think it's going to be beautiful.
Yeah, I saw her swatch. It was
Then
nice.
we could play with dyeing a lighter blue to go with.
Cool.
To go with it, but
Gorgeous.
so
How fun.
that was what I did, and I'm gonna have a lot of ice dyed project. I'm not knitting or crocheting for the boutique. I'm dyeing stuff for the boutique.
That's gonna be
Cool.
exciting.
And somehow I'm gonna get it done, even though I won't be here much for the next 2 weeks.
You know, sometimes you just have to get things done because they have to get done, and
Yeah.
sometimes they just do.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't know how I did it, but I did it.
Well, the ice dyeing is a set it and forget it. So
Yeah.
it doesn't take a lot of time. The cleanup will take a little bit of time, so I'll be busy.
You'll find the time.
We
work
always
out.
find the time for things we like.
It's all gonna work out.
So,
Yeah.
would you finish, Anne?
Well, it's time for Halloween costume. So Dante needed his costume done first because he had a Halloween costume dance to go to for his high school. And he wanted to be Darth Vader, which turns out we have 2 Darth Vader helmets in our house.
Of course you do.
Shocking, right?
As one does.
As one does, yeah.
You don't want to just be stuck with one.
Well,
Like,
what if
in
you
case
can't
something
find
happens?
the other one? I mean, there's your
Exactly.
Gotta
backup
have
Darth
backup plan.
Everyone needs a backup Darth Vader helmet.
So he needed, from me, he needed a black cape and somewhere, because Kevin's been Darth Vader before, I made like a nice cowl, but that couldn't be found. So, but I wasn't offering to make that. So Dante made it like a big cardboard donut ring, then painted it black and used like silver paint for the silver stripes, and just folded the donut in half. Which
There you
is
go.
really the wrong shape, actually.
Yeah.
But it worked. It read as Darth Vader. And we got him a black jumpsuit. Like a workman coveralls. And, which honestly, I think he could like style as regular wear.
Sure. Lots of people do.
So I found a tutorial I don't remember what this girl, it's a YouTube tutorial. It is so freaking easy. You take your height, or like the drop from your shoulders to where you want the cape to end, and you double it, and then you cut a semicircle out of that shape.
There you go.
And then you cut a neck semicircle, and you basically have this huge half circle.
Right.
That she then hot glued strips of pleather, which I was like,
Okay.
fine, it's just a dumb costume, really.
Right.
I mean, he's not going trick-or-treating, he's going to stand to give out, and I thought at the time that he wasn't allowed to wear a costume to school, but I guess that was really just Bella's elementary school. Because they can dress as long as it conforms to dress code. Anyway, so then I went looking for the hot glue gun, which I know it's down there now.
Okay.
If you guys need a hot glue gun, it's in the cupboard there. But couldn't find it, and the idea of hot gluing fabric together was really stressing me out.
Making you itch.
Yeah. So then I did good on my supplies. I didn't do as good as I could have, but I got my black knit for 40% off instead of the 60% if I'd gone the day before. Then I found a remnant of like marine vinyl. And I cut my 1-inch strips, and then I just sewed them because it was knit. There's no hemming or anything.
Right.
So this was a night that Dante had an activity. So I was working on this. So I was waiting to pick him up, and I was so far into it. I was like, "We're coming back to the studio, and you're going to sit while I do this."
Yeah.
And he also, I didn't realize Darth Vader really has 2 kind of capes. He has like a vest he wears, which we're calling a butt cape, because he wanted the swish at the waist. He didn't care about it being on his shoulders. He just wanted the swish at the waist.
Right.
For him to put a belt over. So,
Right.
Although it's just a long tunic vest, I'm calling it the butt cape.
Yep.
So I made him a butt cape. This was insanely easy. Knit fabric.
Yep.
Height from the shoulders down.
Okay.
He's about 50 inches around. So
Okay.
60-inch width knit fabric. I kind of folded it in like... you would do like a kid's greeting card, you get the center and then you fold the 2 short sides in. There's probably a technical term for that. Then I cut armholes.
Okay.
And then I made the like little shoulder slope, and I gathered up. Anyway, it was so stupid easy. It took 5 minutes to make the vest. So Dante puts his cape on, and immediately He's like, I could be so many things with this. And then he started twirling like I would in a circle skirt.
Yeah.
Okay, so Darth Vader's done.
Nice.
On
Check.
the 12th or 13th. Okay.
Sweet.
Then the next night, I was a Wednesday, so I was here by myself, and I finished Mirabella's costume. So on the 13th of this month, I thought I was done with my costume.
Yeah.
And I went home and I was
Super
very
awesome.
braggadocious. And then Kevin's sitting next to me on the couch, and he's like, what about my costume? Mind you, he's kind of done for himself the last few years.
Right.
But there wasn't much to do about Halloween over the last couple of years. So he wasn't feeling very inspired.
Okay.
Let me tell you what Mirabella is going to be.
Okay. Tell me.
So the video game Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
Do you know about it, Karen? It's
No, I
a
never know.
horror video game.
Oh, okay.
She's going to be this jester character called Moondrop, who apparently is in charge of the daycare.
Okay.
To me, my impression of this game is it's like a take on a haunted Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah. Like
Because
that actually
animatronics
sounds
come to
super
life
fun.
and they're the scary
They're
creatures.
so
supposedly
creepy.
possessed by the souls of children that were murdered.
Love it. Not spooky at all.
No, right. So she's obsessed,
Yeah.
as many children her age are.
Yes.
Hey, the last time I was at Chuck E. Cheese, I gave birth the next day, so it's been a while.
So Moondrop is this moon-faced jester character. This costume is going to have these. This bell is 2 inches in diameter.
That's a big jingle
Inch
bell.
and a half. She's gonna have wrist jinglies,
Oh no.
and then she's supposed to have jester shoes, which I kept begging her to accept. The ones you could buy on Amazon. She's like, no, they're not right. No. So somehow I'm gonna come up with jester shoes this weekend.
Got
And
it.
they get bells on them. And then the hat has a bell. I'm so proud of myself because I found this sparkly navy blue fabric
Yeah.
at Joann's. I bought what they had, which maybe was 1 3/4 yards. I got the pants, the neck ruffle, and the hat out of it.
That's awesome.
And there's a detail in the sleeves.
Yeah.
And I still have a rectangle of it. I think I could make her a reasonable size scrunchie.
Sweet. That's awesome.
That's cool.
I had this vintage or old elastic that's 2 inch wide elastic because the hat band has a big old white brim on it, and I could just sew the elastic to the hat brim, and it turned out, I think, much better than the character's designed because it has this red and blue, and in the character it's just a white brim.
Yeah.
And I love that
Oh, then that's much better.
but she folds it in because it's not accurate.
Oh, of course. She's like, no,
I'm
Mom.
What are you doing? My design's so much better, Mirabella.
But then no one will know who she is.
Right, of course. Anyone's gonna know. She keeps picking these stupid, obscure characters.
They might know.
They might. Other kids will probably know.
Yeah.
So she's supposed to cut
If
out
she showed up to
stars.
my house for trick or treat, I'd be like, cool costume.
Yeah, she's gonna
Don't know
look
who you
great. So I just need to put the elastics in. But this
Those
is the
sparkles are
pants
awesome.
pattern from the Art of Sewing, the Sonia
Yeah.
Phillips book. Which, if you're not making for a child, watch out because the crotch seam is consistently a little short. But she has an alteration in there, and then there's a waist ruffle too.
Yeah.
So
A butt cape.
a butt cape. Everybody's getting butt capes tonight. You get a butt cape, and you get a butt cape. And the
If you
red.
put that underneath, it would be a bustle.
True. The red is these wraps that go around the wrist. So you have gifted me several times things wrapped in red grosgrain.
Oh, yeah, because I have a giant roll of it. You want more? I got more.
I might need more, but I think the piece you most recently used,
Yes.
which I came across, I think it's enough to do the two.
Okay, because I got more if you need.
I'll let you know. So then Kevin, I was like, well, how about I make you a Halloween-y shirt and you borrow Dante's cape and you can go as Dracula or go as a vampire.
Yeah.
That's when I thought Dante's cape was up for grabs. Well, they're allowed to dress, so no, Dante's cape is not up for grabs.
He's wearing his cape.
Yeah. So I found this fabric at Joann's where I made Kevin his own cape. There was enough of the marine vinyl to make a second one.
This is
So,
awesome.
Oh, that's awesome.
Kevin is going as Dracula on vacation.
Love it.
So I made him his usual button-down short sleeve shirt, which I actually have misplaced my favorite pattern, and I've sort of drafted this from several different patterns. So this is its test run.
Cool.
That
fabric is fantastic.
Okay, the fabric is a black background with just kind of floating vampire teeth like the kid ones.
Yep. The
Only a little more
chompers.
ominous looking because some of them have blood dripping off them. So it's matching shorts.
And pants.
And
Bermuda
shirt.
Bermuda shorts. That's awesome.
Awesome.
So that's all done.
Sweet.
And then he's like, I'll need a big sun hat too.
Yep.
So he has his
He
cape.
can't go out in the sun.
No, he has his cape, and he has his shirt and Bermuda shorts.
Yep.
And then he has an enormous head. So I have the serpentine hat pattern from Elby.
Uh-huh.
That's where you get the Sorrento bucket hat and the serpentine hat. So I widen the brim still another 1.25 inches.
Uh-huh.
Her pattern is great because it has 4 hat sizes all the way up to 24 inches. But Kevin's head is 25 inches.
Uh-huh.
So I was able to... I cut out the pattern and I skimped on the
seam
seam allowance a little bit.
There you
So I
go.
widened the brim
Nice.
and it's pretty good.
Yeah, that's quite the hat. That'll
Yeah.
protect a vampire from the sun for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I'm really excited about Kevin's
That's
class.
awesome.
That's very fun.
So they have little details, but I'm still counting as done. And it is the 27th of October.
Yeah,
I finished these like in the wee hours of last night.
that's awesome.
So I still have 5 days.
And what are you wearing? What's your costume?
Mom who finished costumes on time. It's
Nice.
my favorite costume. I wear it every once in a while. I am probably going to just enjoy my pumpkin sweater.
You should like have one of those little wrist pin cushions with pins in it and just like throw a bunch of thread on your shirt.
Oh, that's good.
Like I've been up late
good.
sewing.
That's good.
That's awesome.
It's my usual look when I'm running out of here at 1 a.m, asking my insomniac son, "Are you still awake?" So you can walk me to my car virtually. Which I don't know what good that does for my safety, except if I were abducted or hurt, he would know.
He would know. Someone would know.
And then he'd probably go into a panic attack, and I don't know
How
how that'll
helpful
help
would he
me.
be? I don't know, but
Yeah. Well, he could call the police, I guess. Anyway, I digress. I can't wait to see Kevin in his costume. I made him.
I'm excited about that for you.
I wasn't ready to get out of bed when he was ready to leave this morning, so I was like, "Put your hat on and text me a picture."
Yeah.
So that I can make sure that it fit, because hats are a real iffy thing with him. And it works. And I'm so excited. So what's exciting about this too is these pieces all look very discombobulated, and I'm like, ladies, look at these and be impressed.
yeah.
I get to take pictures of them
I was gonna
in
say,
their costumes.
we'll have to post pictures.
Yeah, and then I'll get them to you
Yes.
for release day.
I would love that. Everyone will love to see.
Yes. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with
The
how
family
things went out.
Cazzoli.
And then I'm going to take a little credit for Alexander,
Uh-huh.
who I taught to sew when he was 6. He's going as like a D&D inspired character,
Cool.
and he made his own cloak.
Aww.
He got a pattern. He cut out the pattern pieces. He used felt, but anyway. And he sewed it himself. And I think he hand sewed it, actually, because there are no sewing machines at home.
I was gonna say, what's
All my machines are here.
for
So I'm so proud of him, and it turned out really good.
What an awesome proud mama moment.
Yeah. So, yeah. Yesterday he was making fun of me, though, when I got home and he was still up. He's like, "Hey, Mom, remember when you said a week ago that you were all the way done?"
Yes, and
Well, at that time, I was all the way done with everything I knew I needed to do. Katie, what have you finished?
oh, what have I finished? I happened to have everything I needed for my Halloween costume in my wardrobe, so I haven't had to do anything for that.
Nice.
I have been emotional support for the crazy person who's building the haunted house.
So is that a neighborhood event?
No, it's in my house.
Got
um,
I'm like,
Crazy person in my house.
he's just doing it for your family.
basically,
All right.
we get a lot
Which
of
is a
trick-or-treaters.
big family.
We get a lot of
Oh,
trick-or-treaters.
that's my point. If we went trick-or-treating in your neighborhood, I could go through your...
You could.
Okay.
There aren't a lot of other houses on our half of the street that do anything, because we live on a cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
And nobody else in our cul-de-sac wants to participate in Halloween. So we have to put up all the lights we can find so that when people come down their street, they're like, we should at least stop at that house.
Oh my gosh.
Because we're at the end of the cul-de-sac.
What monsters make up your neighborhood?
Well, I have some neighbors that are not my favorite people,
really? But... Even my neighbor I don't like is all decked out.
Yes.
Like, I look like I'm the person
nobody in
like
my
Halloween.
neighborhood has decorated very much
We
at all.
stopped decorating,
but we get a lot of
we're not
trick-or-treaters.
handing out candy.
You're not handing out candy.
No, because I got tired of sitting out there and doing that.
That's
the thing.
That's my favorite part of Halloween.
Yeah, our neighborhood is those that have the adorable little kids anymore.
Yeah.
They're just the obnoxious high schoolers. They're way too big for that.
I have
still
decided if you dress up and put in the effort, I don't care what age you are, I will give you candy.
Yeah.
But I don't like sitting out there and doing it. That's my thing.
That's okay.
My mother-in-law used to love it, but when the little kids stopped doing it, and we have the occasional cold October, and then we became like one of only 2 houses on our street that participated.
Uh-huh.
So we felt like if we decorate, that's telling people to come to our house, and then it's not right if we're not going to give them candy.
Yeah.
So we stopped decorating when we stopped handing out candy, because if you're going to decorate, you got to give candy.
Yeah.
I
just
love
feel that way.
everything about Halloween, and most especially the trick-or-treating.
I know.
And trick-or-treating.
I liked walking around getting the candy more than actually serving the
There's
candy.
this little girl who I'm kind of like really sad that Dante has claimed giving out candy, because there's this little girl in my neighborhood who comes in, not in costume, she comes in character. And I'm kind of
that would be fantastic.
dying to see what
What
is
she's
this
gonna
year.
do.
Like several years, I guess 2019, she was a witch, and I put some good candy in there, and she's like, "You have been spared,"
And you're like, more candy.
Oh, that's awesome.
and then last year she came and she had Calaveras makeup, the sugar skulls, and a very pretty, little girl, pretty dress on. And mind you, I think she's somewhere between Dante and Marabella's age. So at this time, she would have been like 11 or 12.
Uh-huh.
And I said, oh, and a little sister or something was with her dressed the same. I said, oh, your costume's so beautiful. You look great. And she's like, I was murdered at my first communion by banditos.
Oh my god, that's incredible.
More candy!
That's so cute.
I mean, I'm pretty
like,
sure it's the same girl.
As you smile and you just dump your bag into her.
If anybody comes to my house dressed as a Ninja Turtle, they get their bucket filled. James is like, you have all the candy. But we do like...
You're my special friend.
He builds like his, whatever he's building of the year, like his haunted house, whatever. Which is more like a walkthrough, because we build it out of like easy ups in the driveway. And then...
Like, basically, I'm asking, is it worth driving to film or to come see this?
I mean, I think so.
Yeah.
But
all right.
you can come to my party because it's also a party.
Oh, okay.
So I have lots of food and treats and pizza and all kinds of good stuff.
You heard that. Okay.
I'm not trying to invite myself to your party.
You are very welcome to drive to Fillmore, but I might be the only house on my block.
So it's safe to say this because my family doesn't listen. But I'm working the polls until 7, and I'm going to tell them 9 because I'm going to be at your house.
You can come to my house and get some. Well, you probably can't have my pizza, but you could get something delicious.
I just want to see
the
your
Jersey
house.
Devil.
I will take lots of pictures for sure. Yeah,
Okay,
so
carry on.
I'm more in charge of like the party aspect. So it's like James is building the scary stuff, and then the price of admission for anybody who wants to come is some sort of bag of candy, so that we can add it to the giant bucket. My sister brought over her contribution, which was tiny little jars of Play-Doh to hand out to the kids. Oh, and I was like, that sounds fun, but this isn't candy. Yeah. I can't eat this and enjoy it too.
You said no.
No, I mean, I took it, but I was like, this is not what the requirement said. But
I do miss getting the candy because I always picked out stuff that I'd get extra of the stuff I like.
I was just telling James last night, I was like, I'm excited for Halloween, but I also just remembered all of the candy that we're going to have nearby. I'm going to eat so many Reese's.
I just bought a bag of, like, they did a mini pumpkin. And I just bought them and put them in my desk. And
Nice.
why am I lying about this? They're mine.
Yeah, no, they're yours because they're your pumpkins.
I miss the time where we used to do trunk or treat. When they used to be drive-in theaters, and back when there was drive-in theaters, a lot of times on Halloween or the day before, they would have what was called trunk or treat. Where
That's a big like church thing.
Yeah, you could find trunk or treats.
Oh, yeah, but it was more fun when it was at a drive-in theater.
Yeah,
That sounds very fun.
Way more cars, and you didn't have to, like, it was fun. You watched
It's
the
like
movie.
hitting an apartment building instead of house by house.
Yes.
Kevin feels like
Concentrated.
that's the big payoff.
You would think so, but when we were temporarily in an apartment while we were waiting for the house to be built, we thought, oh, this is gonna be great. We're gonna go. Apartment people don't necessarily participate.
Oh, all right. Well,
All those
fine.
concentrated people, and you would think, oh, the candy. No.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can't control like what your neighbor's gonna do, right? But at least we don't set up until probably the day before, so at least our neighbors don't hate us because we usually have a lot of people around. But it's like the only like party we do. Because when we first got married, I was like, I want to be the people that throw, like, the Christmas party. Like, that would be so fun. And James Lane's like, Katie, we're the people that throw the Halloween party every year. And I was like, oh, you're right.
Yeah.
We already do that.
Yeah.
So, like, all throughout the year, I'm, like, pinning recipes and saving stuff where I'm like, oh, that looks delicious. So
We had a work Christmas party at your house one year.
Yes, we did.
we did. Yes, we did. Okay, what am I working on?
Yeah,
No, what have I finished? That's the
we're
question.
finished.
Okay.
This is more of what are you working on?
Yeah, that is what I'm working on. I finished a cross stitch project for my cousin Claire for her birthday, which you might have seen, but I hadn't shared like a picture of it because I didn't want her to see it. Because she's a Pyrex collector, and I found an Etsy shop that makes Pyrex patterns as embroidery patterns or cross stitch patterns.
How cool.
So I texted her like in January. And I was like, what's your favorite Pyrex pattern?
Yeah, I feel like we talked about this,
Yes.
and I was like, this is amazing.
So Butterfly Gold was her answer. So this is the finished wall hanging piece that I made. So it's a yellow background
cool.
with white stitching, reminiscent of the Pyrex pattern. So I gave it to her for her birthday. She loved it. She just bought a new like hutch to display all her Pyrex. And she's like, I'm going to put it in my hutch. And I was like, that's
Is it the
awesome.
same place that sells the t-shirts with the Pyrex pattern?
I don't think so, but I can look up the name of their
Etsy shop
because I didn't write it down.
Was it a kit, or was it just the pattern?
No, it was just the pattern, and I had to track down a gold colored Aida cloth, and that was a little bit hard to do, but that I didn't have to buy like a ton of because I only needed one little piece.
1, 2, 3 stitch.
I ordered it so long ago because I had been working on it for a while, but her birthday was this month, so I had to finish it in time
Say
to
next time.
give it to her. So what am I searching for? Pyrex. But that was fun. It was easy. I ordered a oval hoop for it. Yeah, and it was fun. It was a fun project. Pyrex Bish Stitch. That is her name. Pyrex Bish Stitch. Pyrex Bish. And I think she just does like Pyrex cross stitch patterns and like all of the different designs that you could ever want.
There's a lot.
So if you like,
a lot of charts,
whatever you want. So I finished that, and I gave it to her, so I don't have it to show, but I have pictures. I finished a bunch of stuff for the boutique so far that I'm trying to accumulate a bunch of stuff, but I can't tell you what exactly those are. And then I have leftovers from the Halloween quilt. I was hoping I would say, look at this quilt I finished. It's not going to be finished by this Halloween. But I had charm pack squares left over, so I made throw pillows.
Those are
out of
cool.
adorable.
And James has claimed one for his chair, and so the other one is mine. But these are just 5-inch squares that I stitched together.
I love the white with the neon pink skulls.
I know that one's my favorite one.
I love that.
This is Spooky Darlings, the collection, which is what my Halloween quilt is using, but these were leftover squares. And then I just threw them in I had these like fuzzy pink pillows that I bought from, I don't know, Ross or something. But I don't like the texture of them, like to actually use. But they turned out to be perfect to fill a throw pillow cover.
It looks very squishy.
It is very cozy. And I did 2 different stitch quilting
I see
designs.
your spider webs again.
Yeah, because I was
love
convinced I was going to do the spider webs on the big quilt, but after having done it on 2 other projects, I was like, this is too much work.
Some of these remind me of little candy corns.
Yeah, so
shapes,
this is
candy
like
corn
a
shapes, so-
meander, but with angles. So I was like, it's a little bit more
like it.
jaggedy.
Yeah.
So this was my plan. I haven't even finished the quilt top. It's not going to be finished for Halloween.
One thing at a time.
Yeah. So
You
maybe
didn't say
next
which
Halloween.
Halloween.
So 2 Halloween throw pillows, and I was like, oh, well, I'll just make Christmas pillows, covers, and put them on for next time because they're very cozy little pillows.
They're really cute.
And then I also finished my Easy V.
Let's see it.
Da-da-da.
Ooh.
And I blocked it, and I wove in all the ends except for on one sleeve. So they're almost, it's done, but there's still some ends.
We have voted many times
Left.
that weaving in ends does not
Yes.
equal finish.
But I'm very
I
happy
love
with it.
I love the neck shaping with the ribbing
Yeah.
that she
Really
does.
Did you see her latest design? I think she just released it today.
Uh-uh.
And it's basically the same shape, but instead of color work, it's like lace and baubles.
Ooh.
So I might be casting on for that one too, because it's very pretty.
Is it the same gauge? Sporty DK?
I think
The
it's
new one?
it's DK. I think it's 19 stitches.
Okay.
It's like a fingering and a lace held together,
Ooh.
but it's like a DK-ish size.
Gorgeous.
So the yarn is Loops and Threads Cozy Wool Merino DK in the color Spice. That's my main body. And then Malabrigo Machita in Piedras. Less Traveled Yarn, whatever their sock yarn is called in a colorway I don't remember. And Madeline Tosh in another color that I can't remember. I think we thought maybe it was Cousteau.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Pretty thing, pretty thing, pretty thing, pretty thing.
Yeah. So I'm very happy with it. I'm excited that my students are also finishing up theirs. So they're like working on their sleeves. They're almost done.
That's gorgeous.
It's very fun. So I'm very proud of myself that I finished a whole dang
You
sweater
should
for me,
be dang
which I haven't done in a
proud.
while. And those are the things that I have finished.
That is an impressive pile of finished things.
Thank you. Also, look at this bag I got today at Sprouts.
Yes. I
It's a
have
blue
I
key
that
love,
bag.
too.
I love the
You
view.
do?
Yeah.
It's got Godzilla on it, and he just says
Oh, I
so
like
much to do.
I
But
love
I
it.
like the vintage wallpapery sides.
I was like, oh, that
I almost
need to
bought
buy
it
that.
again.
Yeah.
And
Well, it
I'm
was the
like,
last one at Sprouts, so I bought
you
it.
have it. Yeah, and I think you have it.
Anybody want to share something they're excited about, obsessed with this month?
Well, I started to mention I have been binging American Horror Stories.
Mm-hmm.
It's very good. It's like I think I was hearing bad reviews of it when it came out, but I like an anthology series. It's like each episode is a story because I think they're referring to like standalone series made in a theme as anthology series. But I like the one scary story ago, and it's very fun and for if you're a fan of that series, it's calls back to itself, which is fun. I think I started season 2 a little bit last night, and it's moving on. Like I think next season is going to follow like the where the witches get together, the coven one. So that is my current obsession. I have not had the attention span for movie watching as I have had in past Octobers.
Yeah, you got to be in the right mood for a movie.
Yeah.
So,
But for some reason, I'm okay with watching 2 episodes of like an hour-length show.
yeah.
But that seems like a movie is a commitment.
Yep.
I don't know why.
Well, because those hour-length shows pretty much kind of wrap up in an hour. They only hold... You get 2 stories for the price of,
I guess, yeah.
the other.
That's it.
That's
The
it.
end.
Do you have any, Karin?
This is the time of year where I like watching like the holiday type cooking shows, like where they make all these like pumpkin challenges where they have the teams kind of stuff, the Great Pumpkin Wars.
Yep.
I really like the one where that's outdoors where they have pumpkins that you could like fit a small child into, and they have to carve
pumpkin.
it into something outrageous. I'm bummed that this season. What I tuned in was because it had the gal that was from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Sarah Michelle
Not
Gellar.
Sarah, but her buddy. Who's
Willow, but that's not that
whatever.
girl's
I know
name.
her name. I can't think of it.
She went to band camp.
Yeah.
She met your mother.
Yes, she was on How I
I
Met
know
Your
exactly who you're talking about.
Mother. Anyway,
Allison Hannigan.
There you
that's
go.
it. But she's
Good
not
job.
in it this time, so it's not as good. So instead, I'm watching Is It Cake?
Oh yeah, that show's
That's
cute.
super fun.
Yeah.
So
Very cute.
we don't have a lot of attention span because we've been had a lot of work and other stuff going on, and so we've been watching the new season of The Floor is Lava, and that's really fun. I don't like the contestants as much, but I'm in it for the rooms.
I love that you love that show.
Yeah.
I honestly, I'm in it to see how quickly we're taking bets on how fast will they crash and burn.
Schadenfreude, which today I witnessed something that someone deserved, and I was like very amused by it. Not important what it is. That will just reflect that thing on me. So I want to start making my own cross stitch charts of things like that. Like the one I have in my head right now is to take Schadenfreude and then put like cute flowers all over it. Kind of like the wash your hands in the bathroom.
Yep.
And just hang it above my desk or something.
Yeah. A little passive aggressive, but like pretty.
Can you tell me what that means?
Schadenfreude is witnessing somebody else's discomfort and taking pleasure in it.
Oh, okay.
It's one of those like words we don't have an equivalent of in English words.
Yeah. And it's my personality. Essentially.
My current obsession is a podcast, and shout out to Claire for telling me about it, because she's always hooking me up with the things that she's like, you're gonna love this. It's called Normal Gossip.
Oh yes, I listened to that. It's good stuff.
It is basically it's like the host has a guest on, and they share some sort of morsel of gossip from like a real life person who like it actually happened to, but they do like the telephone game to like change up some of the details so the names are different, the whatevers are different. So if you were like involved in the drama, you wouldn't listen to it and be like, wait a minute, so told my story. But it's like so fun to listen to, because all of the guests, like some of them are like fellow podcast hosts or comedians or writers or whatever. And so you're like reacting to the drama along with them. So it's very fun.
This sounds
it's like
great.
I'm not much into gossip, but I love that Normal Gossip podcast.
I would highly recommend starting with the episode. Hold on, let me look it up. I can't remember the name of it, but there's one from the first season that is about a knitting circle.
Ooh.
Yep.
And it is so fun. I was like, this is great. And then when we went camping this weekend, I was like, James, you're going to love this. You have to listen to an episode with me. And that's the one I made him listen to. And he was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. So it's episode 3 of season 1. The title of the episode is Can I Say Something Bitchy?
I'm in.
Yeah, you should listen to it. It is so fun.
Right, cool. Well, thank you for spreading the virus, Claire.
Yes, yeah, thank you, Claire. So that's what I've only listened to that because I'm like trying to get through all of it just because it's fun to binge. Yeah. So I'm nearing the end of the last season available, and then they're like on a break right now. So I haven't done any other like reading, listening, audiobook or anything, because I'm like, if I'm in the car, I'm going to listen to an episode of Normal Gossip because it's so fun. Yeah. I think that's it for us tonight, guys.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, good.
Yeah. We will see you in a couple weeks for book club. If not, we'll see you next month for our regular old podcast. We hope you had a fun Halloween. This will come out after that happened. But if you made some sort of awesome costume, send us a picture. We'd love to see it. You can see all of the pictures of the things that we talked about on our Instagram page. So if you want to follow us at Strings and Things Studio, you can see that. And we will talk to y'all next time.
Bye.
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 Strings Unraveled is a production of Strings and Things Studio with Anne Lekkervin-Kazoli, Kaity Von Rader-Fraker, and Karin Wilmoth. Recorded and edited by Kaity Von Rader-Fraker. Find us online at stringsandthingsstudio.com or on Facebook or Instagram at Strings and Things Studio. You can email us at stringsandthingsinfo@gmail.com.